You step into your garden, the morning sun warming your back, the soil rich and promising under your fingers. This is your sanctuary, your personal Eden, where you decide what gets to grow and what beauty gets to flourish. But what if I told you that your sovereign kingdom has a secret, unmarked border, that beyond the fence lies a list of plants your government has declared contraband? Not because they're dangerous to you in the traditional sense, but because they hold the power to quietly upend entire ecosystems, cripple billion-dollar industries, or ignite silent agricultural wars. Today we're pulling back the curtain on the most seductive members of that list. Welcome to the shadowy, surprising, and utterly fascinating world of agricultural crime. Today on Purely Garden, we are pulling back the curtain on the flora that broke the law. These are the fruits that crossed a line, and we are counting down the top 15 illegal fruits you absolutely cannot grow in the United States of America. Welcome back to Purely Garden, where we explore the plant world's greatest mysteries. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Today we start with a fruit that's a national hero in one country and a wanted fugitive in another. Fruit number 15. I am talking about the ackee. This is the glorious golden star of Jamaican cuisine, the centerpiece of the iconic dish ackee and saltfish. When prepared at the exact perfect moment of ripeness, its flavor is delicate, buttery, and sublime. But here is the twist. The unripe ackee fruit, along with its shiny black seeds, contains a potent toxin called hypoglycin A. This toxin can cause what is known officially as Jamaican vomiting sickness. So there is a very real public health concern. But the United States Department of Agriculture, the USDA, has an even bigger worry. The ackee tree is like a 5-star luxury resort for invasive fruit flies, specifically the Caribbean fruit fly. To the citrus growers of Florida and California, that fly is not just a pest. It is an economic hurricane with wings. An infestation can trigger massive landscape-altering quarantines and require the heartbreaking destruction of entire orchards. So to build a biological wall around the multi-billion-dollar citrus industry, the fresh ackee fruit is banned from import at the border. And planting that ackee tree in your backyard in an agricultural state is not just discouraged. It is considered an act of agricultural sabotage. A delicious reminder that one person's treasure can be another nation's threat. Now let's talk about a fruit that looks like it could not hurt a fly. Fruit number 14. Coming in next, the sweet and sneaky purple Genip. You might know it as Spanish lime or mamoncillo. This little green orb is the ultimate Caribbean street food. You pop it in your mouth, crack the thin shell with your teeth, and savor the sweet, tangy, almost lychee-like pulp that clings to a big seed. It is pure, simple joy. So what is its crime? It is guilty by association. The scientific name is Melicoccus bijugatus, and it is a documented host plant for one of the USDA's most wanted insects, the Citrus Longhorned Beetle. This beetle is actually quite handsome, with antennae longer than its body, but its children are nightmares. The larvae are silent, hungry little bulldozers. They tunnel deep into the heartwood of citrus trees, the very plumbing of the tree, turning vital pathways into dead ends. The tree slowly starves to death, from the inside out. There is no cure. There is only eradication. So to protect the groves that feed a nation, the USDA has declared the purple Genip tree persona non grata across the southern United States. Your craving for an exotic snack could, in the worst-case scenario, sign a death warrant for an entire orange grove. Talk about a guilty pleasure. All right, prepare for some royal drama. Fruit number 13. At number 13, we have the queen of fruits herself, the magnificent, the forbidden mangosteen. In Southeast Asia, this fruit is royalty. Its deep purple, almost leathery rind hides snow-white segments of flesh so exquisite, people write poetry about it. The flavor is a complex symphony of peach, strawberry, and citrus notes with a creamy texture. It is by many accounts perfect. And that perfection is the problem. You see, the mangosteen plant can be a carrier for a bacterial disease called Citrus Canker. Now, this disease does not hurt people, but for citrus trees it is a disaster. It causes ugly weeping lesions on fruit, leaves, and stems, making the fruit completely unmarketable and weakening the tree. Imagine this scenario. A well-meaning gardener in Arizona orders a mangosteen seed from an uncertified source online. They plant it. That one seedling could be patient zero. It could spark an outbreak that would require agricultural officials to bulldoze thousands of commercial citrus trees across multiple counties to contain it. The economic and ecological damage would be staggering. Because of this catastrophic potential, the legal pathway to import a live mangosteen plant is a fortress of quarantine protocols, phytosanitary certificates, and permits that are nearly impossible for a home gardener to obtain. The Queen, for now, remains in exile, her delicious reign confined to foreign shores, moving from queen to a master of trickery. Fruit number 12. We have the incredible, flavor-bending miracle berry. This small red berry from West Africa contains a protein called miraculin. Here is how the magic works. The miraculin protein itself does not taste sweet. Instead, it hijacks your taste buds. It binds to your sweet receptors, and for up to an hour, it changes their shape. So when you then eat something sour, like a lemon or a lime, the acid activates those altered receptors, and your brain is fooled. It screams, "Sweet, that lemon tastes like the best lemonade you have ever had." It is a fantastic party trick and a genuine tool for people undergoing medical treatments that affect taste. So why is it on this list? While you can legally buy the freeze-dried berries as a novelty snack, importing the live plant, since Palum dulcificum, or its seeds, is a federal offense. The concern is biosecurity. The living plant could potentially harbor diseases that are not present here, diseases that could find a new home in American crops like coffee or gardenias. The government is not against your scientific curiosity. It is guarding against the invisible unknown pathogen that might be hitching a ride on the roots of your fascinating new plant. Now, hold your noses. Fruit number 11, because at number 11 we have the king of fruits, the one, the only, the notoriously pungent durian. This is the fruit that divides families and clears rooms. Its smell has been described as a mix of rotting onions, turpentine, and sweet custard. But to its fans, its creamy, rich flesh is the ultimate culinary experience. So why is the king banned from holding court in the US? The durian tree is not just a fruit producer, it is an entire ecosystem, and within that ecosystem, live pests and diseases that American agriculture has never had to face. Of grave concern are specific species of fruit flies that target durian, and more worryingly, aggressive strains of a soil-borne water mold called Phytophthora. This is in the same family of pathogens that causes sudden oak death. If one of these strains got a foothold here, it could potentially jump to other crops, like avocado orchards, with devastating effect. Smuggling a durian seed in your luggage is not just a smelly, sticky mistake. It is treated as a serious agricultural crime. The potential economic damage runs into the hundreds of millions of dollars. The king carries too much risky baggage. This next one is a true plot twist from the history books. Fruit number 10. At number 10, we have the humble, the hunted, the once vilified black currant. This tiny, tart, vitamin C-packed berry is a staple in European jams, cordials, and desserts. So why was it public enemy number 1 in America for most of the 20th century? The answer is a botanical murder mystery with 2 victims. The black currant, Ribes nigrum, is what is known as an alternate host for a fungus called white pine blister rust. This fungus has a complex life cycle that requires 2 different plant hosts to survive. Host number 1 is a currant or gooseberry bush. On the currant, the fungus causes some minor leaf spots. No big deal. Then the spores travel to host number 2, the eastern white pine tree. On the white pine, the same fungus is a killer. It creates fatal cankers that girdle the branches and trunk, slowly strangling the tree to death. The eastern white pine was, and still is, a crucial timber species and a keystone of northeastern forests. So to save the pines, the United States government declared war on the currant. A federal ban was enacted, and currant bushes were ripped from the ground nationwide. The federal ban has since been lifted, handing control to individual states, but the legacy remains. To this day, it is still illegal to plant black currants in many counties across New England. Your grandmother's secret jam recipe might be a relic from a time before America waged a silent war against a fungus. Staying in the berry patch. Fruit number 9. At number 9, we have a case of mistaken identity. I am talking about elderberry. Now this is critical. Not all elderberries are created equal. The Native American elderberry, Sambucus canadensis, with its flat-topped clusters of creamy white flowers, is generally legal to grow and fantastic for making immune-boosting syrups and delicious wines. However, its European cousin, Sambucus nigra, prized for its larger, drooping flower heads, is also a host for that same white pine blister rust fungus. Therefore, importing and planting the European species is heavily restricted. This is a masterclass in responsible gardening. It is not enough to just say elderberry. You must know the exact scientific name and its provenance. That little plastic tag in the pot matters. Your local ecosystem could depend on it. Let's travel to a more tropical climate. Fruit number 8. At number 8, we have a dazzling spiky duo, the rambutan and the lychee. These fruits look like they fell off a spaceship. The rambutan is a hairy red sea urchin of a fruit. The lychee has a bumpy pink-red shell. Crack them open, and you find a jewel inside, a translucent, juicy orb with a floral, perfumed sweetness that is unforgettable. They are the crown jewels of the tropical fruit stand. But beauty often has a price. These trees are potential hosts for a host of invasive pests. The most notorious is the lychee erinose mite. This microscopic menace does not just eat the plant, it tricks it. The mite's saliva causes the leaf tissue to form grotesque, felty galls, distorting the leaves and crippling the tree's ability to photosynthesize. Bringing a few seeds back from your vacation in Thailand to try and sprout at home is not a harmless souvenir. It is a direct violation of agricultural law, bypassing every checkpoint designed to keep such pests out. The legal way to enjoy these trees is to purchase certified pest-free nursery stock from a reputable domestic supplier that has put its plants through rigorous quarantine. It is less romantic than a seed from your travels, but it protects the orchards we already have. This next one is for all the coffee lovers. Fruit number 7. At number 7, we have your very own coffee plant, Coffea arabica. The dream is undeniable. A small, glossy-leaved shrub on your patio that one day will provide beans for your own homemade roast. And listen, you can absolutely make this dream a reality. You can buy a coffee plant from a reputable nursery right here in the US. The crime is in the shortcut. Importing coffee seeds or lev plants directly from coffee-growing regions in Ethiopia, Colombia, or Vietnam is a big no-no. Why? Because those regions are home to the two greatest adversaries in coffee history, coffee leaf rust and the coffee berry borer. These are not minor pests. They have shaped global economics and destroyed livelihoods. If they were to be introduced to the commercial coffee-growing regions in Hawaii or Puerto Rico, the impact would be culturally and economically devastating. So your path to a homegrown buzz must be an ethical one, through inspected domestic sources. Now we are entering a different category. These are not just ecologically risky, these plants are actively directly dangerous. Fruit number 6. At number 6 we have the classic, the deadly, the beautiful killer, Atripa belladonna, or deadly nightshade. This plant is the villain in every historical drama. It has nodding, bell-shaped purple flowers and glossy, enticing black berries that look like perfect tiny cherries. Every part of this plant is saturated with tropane alkaloids, including atropine and scopolamine. Ingestion leads to a terrifying and often fatal chain reaction: dilated pupils, blurred vision, hallucinations, delirium, tachycardia, and ultimately respiratory failure. There is no innocent reason to cultivate this plant. It is illegal to grow in most cities and counties for clear and obvious public safety reasons, especially with children and pets around. This is not a gardening challenge. It is a poison, and its place is in history books, not in your backyard. Fruit number 5. At number 5, we have a plant that fell from grace, the Jatropha, specifically Jatropha curcas. About 15 years ago, this plant was heralded as a green messiah, a biofuel miracle that would grow on marginal land and fuel our future. The hype train crashed, but the plant escaped. Its seeds are violently toxic. More importantly for our list, in states like Florida and Hawaii, Jatropha is officially listed as a noxious, invasive weed. It is a botanical bulldozer. It grows aggressively, forms dense, monotypic thickets, and outcompetes native vegetation. Planting it is not just illegal in those states, it is an act of ecological vandalism. It is a stark lesson in how a plant promoted as a global solution can, in a specific context, become a catastrophic problem. This one requires your careful attention. Fruit number 4. At number 4, we have a specific offender in a beloved family, the banana passion fruit, Passiflora mollissima. Now the passion flower family is huge and full of wonderful legal vines that are magnets for beautiful butterflies, like the Gulf fritillary. But this particular species is a monster in disguise. In the perfect lush climates of Hawaii and California, this is not a garden vine. It is a green tsunami. It grows with staggering speed, smothering native forest canopies, blocking all light to the plants below, and completely altering the ecosystem. Before you fall in love with any passion flower vine, you must do your homework. Know the exact species and check its invasive status in your area. The wrong choice can literally strangle a forest. Our next spot is held by a pretty prisoner. Fruit number 3. At number 3, the European buckthorn, Rhamnus cathartica. This shrub was sold for decades as the perfect hardy hedge plant. It has glossy leaves and pretty black berries. Those berries are the key to its crime. They are bird candy. Birds eat them, and then spread the seeds far and wide, planting the next invasion with every flight. European buckthorn does not just grow, it conquers. It forms dense, shady thickets that poison the soil with chemicals that suppress native plants, creating ecological dead zones. It is now illegal to sell, distribute, or plant this shrub in numerous states across the Midwest and Northeast. It is the charming stranger who moves into the neighborhood and then proceeds to buy every house. We are in the home stretch, with the final 2 entries serving as monumental lessons in unintended consequences. Fruit number 2. At number 2, we have the ultimate symbol of a good intention gone horrifically wrong: the vine that ate the South, kudzu. In the 1930s, this vine was promoted by the government for erosion control. It grew fast, covered everything, and seemed like a perfect solution. They were wrong. Kudzu grows up to a foot a single day. It does not just cover slopes, it swallows them. It envelops entire trees, power poles, and abandoned buildings, creating surreal, green, ghostly landscapes. Controlling it costs billions of dollars. Planting kudzu is not just illegal in most places, it is unthinkable. It is a living, breathing, smothering monument to the fact that we can never fully predict how a plant will behave when taken out of its native context. And finally, the most shocking illegal fruit you cannot grow. Fruit number 1. Number 1 is not some exotic stranger. It is the tree in your neighbor's front yard. It is the Bradford pear, Peris coloriana. This is the twist ending. Planted by the tens of millions across suburban America for its fast growth and prolific white spring blossoms, the Bradford pear was the perfect ornamental tree until it was not. First, its weak, narrow branch structure makes it split apart in storms, but far worse, it is invasive. The original Bradford cultivar was sterile, but then other cultivars like Cleveland Select and Aristocrat were planted nearby. These different cultivars can cross-pollinate, and when they do, they produce small, fertile fruit. Birds eat those fruits and spread the seeds everywhere. And what grows from those seeds is not a nice Bradford pear. It is a wild, thorny, aggressive tree that forms dense thickets in fields, along roadsides, and in forest edges, crowding out native vegetation. Because of this, more and more states, from Ohio to South Carolina to Pennsylvania, are banning the sale and planting of this tree. The once perfect suburban specimen is now a poster child for invasion. It teaches the most powerful lesson of all. Sometimes the most dangerous invasive species is not the one smuggled in a suitcase. It is the one we planted with our own hands, with the very best of intentions, right in the heart of our communities. So what is the grand unifying lesson of this tour through the Forbidden Garden? These laws, these bans, these quarantines, they are not there to punish your curiosity or crush your dream of a unique garden. They are the immune system of a continent. They are the reason we still have functional citrus industries, healthy native pine forests, productive vineyards, and diverse ecosystems. They are the bulwark against the next chestnut blight, the next emerald ash borer, the next silent ecological collapse. Your desire to grow amazing plants is a beautiful thing. It is what drives botany and agriculture forward. Channel that desire with power and responsibility. Seek out certified, disease-free plants from reputable domestic nurseries. They exist for almost every legal craving. Explore the breathtaking world of native alternatives. A native persimmon or pawpaw tree can be just as exotic and 10 times more beneficial to your local environment. Support your local botanical gardens and agricultural extension offices. They are on the front lines of legally expanding our horticultural horizons. Before we finish, I must plant this final non-negotiable seed. I am a gardener and a storyteller. I am not a lawyer, and I am not a federal agriculture inspector. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Laws are complex, they change, and they vary dramatically from state to state, even county to county. Your single most important action before you ever plant anything exotic is to contact your local USDA office or your state's Department of Agriculture. A 5-minute phone call can save you a massive fine and protect the environment you love. They are your ultimate resource. I need to hear from you. Which of these 15 fruits shocked you the most? Did the story of the black currant or the Bradford pear change how you look at the plants around you? Have you ever accidentally encountered one of these botanical outlaws? Let's get a massive discussion growing down in the comments below. Share your thoughts, your stories, and your questions. If this journey into the secret world of plant law was a wild and fascinating ride for you, please show your support. Give this video a huge thumbs up. It tells the algorithm you want more content like this. Subscribe to Purely Garden if you have not already, and hammer that notification bell. It is the best way to make sure you are with us for the next adventure, where we will explore another incredible story from the green world. Thank you for watching. Remember, the greatest garden is not the one with the rarest contraband. It is the one that thrives in harmony, that respects the balance, and that grows with wisdom. Stay curious, stay legal, and keep growing the right way. I will see you in the next video.